It's a new year, so it's a new me. So what better way to hop into 2022 than to talk about some good old anime? I'm always out here playing games back to back to back, but I think it's time we make a difference. For that is my 2022 New Year's resolution. Not gonna lie, I had the intention of covering a lot more anime content last year, but is it just me or was the seasonal shit that came out last year just dry? Probably just me thing, cause I like to cover things that are video worthy, and none of the seasonal shit that came out last year was what I was looking for. So anyways, with desperate times comes desperate measures. And instead of talking about relevant seasonal anime like anybody else does, any other normal human being does, let's go over the other side of anime, which is very, very wholesome. And for this kind of video, we all know I don't like to go over the normal stuff that everyone and their mama knows about, like Bible Black, Euphoria, Boku no Pico. That's boring! Over here, we only talk about the most exquisite and the most cursed form of media, and probably some of the most underground wholesome shows to ever exist on this planet. And after every one of these videos, I tend to take a nice long shower of regrets, because there is absolutely nothing in the world that I could do to recover from these videos. And if you've been following this channel long enough, you should probably know that this is a series I do, although it is very inconsistent. It has been a series I have been running for some time, and to those who forgot or are new to the channel, the previous parts to this series will be on screen right now, so check those videos out at your own risk. And with that said, if you would like to see a continuation to this series for whatever reason, I don't know why you want me to go through this shit, but if you'd like me to continue, drop a like on this video. Of course, if I see a lot of likes, probably like 8K likes is the goal here, then expect another part. Honestly, I should push it up to 10,000 likes. But anyways, now I'll give you a quick rundown on what I do here. I basically go on this site, My Anime List, a very common site to search up anime and whatnot, and I go into the wholesome genre of anime. Here I sort by score and literally go to the final page where the lowest rated anime are, and from there I pick and choose some wonderful shows for content, and you can find this video uncensored on Patreon. And so to start this video off, we got Dolcaya with an overall rating of 4.73. Yeah, this is gonna be a long day. And you would think this is just a plain and simple anime with a doll named Saya. But let me tell you, you are gravely mistaken. And with being the very wholesome anime we know and love, we have this anime starting off with this dude with a very swollen left hand, and he's shaking his glow stick to this doll named Saya. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, definitely something you come across on a day-to-day basis. But anyways, after destroying his glow stick to oblivion, we then have this moment where he looks like a main character from a whole ass different anime. And then we have him laughing like Kira. But anyways, now getting into the plot of this anime, we have this businessman going to work like any other businessman would do. But of course, with working these long hours, we have this man very depressed sitting on a bench. And while on this bench, he sees this one person who looks exactly like his doll. And then right here, we have everything defocused except for the bench and the guy, and the doll look alike. Nothing too weird here, right? And it seems like this over defocusing of the background wasn't a mistake, and they did the same exact thing for the clothes store. I'm sure they were trying to go for a certain aesthetic, and honestly, you gotta admit, they nailed this shit. Like, look at how clean this looks. But anyways, back to the story of Dolcaya. While sitting on the bench, we then have this one girl who looks exactly like his doll. And after talking a bit to her, he then brings her to his place like any other normal person would do. And right here, we then have some very ominous music playing as the girl cosplays into the dude's doll. Certainly something that's not creepy at all. And then afterwards, he does something that's not creepy at all as well, and he ties her to a chair. And then from this point forward, I think, you know, with the nature of the anime, we know what happens. And then we simply just have some nice and wholesome fun. You know what goes on. And let me tell you, these wholesome scenes were rather censored. It was almost like the screen looked like this. And then moving forward with the wholesome scene, the main protagonist then brings out a knife, ready to cook some dinner, okay? Like, don't jump the gun. We all know the MC here is nothing but a good guy. And then afterwards, they end up playing with the doll, and somehow it gets absorbed into the girl's void, and then she gets possessed by the doll, and then unlocks her avatar state in the process, shooting a red beam at the guy, and then the guy transforms into a doll. Yeah, what a good ending. Anyways, now moving forward, we then have our next piece of cursed media, and possibly one of the worst ones out of all of them. We have O Parts Omen with a solid rating of 4.82. And it starts off in Luigi's mansion with a bunch of lollies. And I'm sure you already know what the nature of this genre. Things tend to go a little crazy. But anyways, for the first segment, we have this mech breaking into this one lolly's dorm, and yeah, I'm sure this scene was very harmless, so let me just move on to the second segment of this OVA or special that was only like 6 minutes. And we are now in a bathhouse with a bunch of lollies. And this is no ordinary bath session, because that would just be boring, right? So why not just throw a mech in there to cause some mayhem? And yeah, we have this mech coming in, invading the bathhouse, and then this one lolly pulls up with another mech to combat this other mech, because you gotta treat everything like a shonen. You just can't let the villain get away. And so after that, this one lolly takes out the other lolly threat, and then we have a resolution. And with all that said and done, the villain lolly who ended up terrorizing the bathhouse then goes like, all I wanted to have have was friends, which is quite a valid reason to commit terrorism. So with that said, this is definitely going down in the books as a masterpiece. And now stepping away from the whole animated scene of wholesome anime, we need some live action in our lives, right? Because we can all agree live action is just one of the greatest things to ever bless this planet. Like, live action adaptations of anime, honestly, they need to make more. The Cowboy Bebop live action was a banger. The Attack on Titan live action was a banger. So let me introduce you to the hidden sauce, ℌệ𝔫𝔱ằ𝔦 SomeMoeGaming, an absolute banger. And I'm so glad I sat through all 30 minutes of this beautiful piece of work. An absolute banger with an overall rating of 4.55. And with a rating like this, you know this shit's gonna be a banger. Because to start off, we have some nice 144p footage and this intro with this one girl IRL and what I believe is her in anime form. Just a disclaimer, I am not entirely sure if I'm 100% accurate with a lot of the things I'm gonna say about this anime, and I might have misunderstood a lot of things that were happening on screen. And actually the same goes for all the other bullshit things I had to go over for this video. But anyways, after this very nice and beautiful intro sequence, we now have the MC getting up for the morning, getting ready to start her day off. And of course, with every morning, you have to follow your morning routine. And so we have her dressing for the day and feeding her cat, which literally took a whole last 3 minutes out of my damn life. And I demand a refund. But yeah, the pacing here was a bit of a problem. And actually made me sit there and think about my life choices. And so continuing our morning, we then have the scene with the girls eating her breakfast in fast motion. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but please just wrap it up already. And afterwards, she then goes and plays with her cat. A bit of a long intro if I do say so, but I'm sure we'll get into the juice of this show eventually. Right? And so after playing with her cat, she then goes and decides to inflate some fucking balloons, really taking her time here. And then afterwards, she then does her hair and makeup. Like, can you please hurry the fuck up? And it seems doing all that wasn't all she had planned for the morning. And like a true big brain individual, she then goes and decides to read a book while we watch her. Nothing but entertaining fun here, honestly, and I'm so very glad they included this segment. And so moving forward past that to later this morning, she gets some mail and takes 2 fucking minutes to open it. But anyways, after taking a millennium to open that letter, she then goes and read it like any other person would do. And then after that, we then have her taking out the trash. 13 minutes into this goddamn OVA. Not sure if it's subjective saying that they had serious pacing issues here, but they had serious pacing issues here. Anyways, we now have her dressed up in a school uniform, preparing for the school day. And then she encounters this one doll that transforms into this one weird ass looking anime creature, and he introduces himself as Dick. And shortly after encountering this one creature, she then gets hit up by his genjutsu, transferring her into another world. I did not know that this was a modern day seasonal anime, because now we're experiencing a whole ass isekai. Upon entering this anime world, she then gets sent to this one UFO where she encounters Dracula, who's apparently a lizard, and he tries to get very wholesome with her. But soon after, the Giga Chad comes in and saves the day. After that, she then finds her mom, who's having a good time doing some yoga. Not entirely sure if it's actually her mom, but even if we knew, I don't think it would take away from how absurdly terrible this experience was. Anyways, fast forwarding a bit, we then have this random action sequence where she becomes a warrior and these random monsters invade. She of course tries to fight them, but gets overwhelmed. This is when the Giga Chad comes in and drinks his liquid Viagra, getting a power up in the process and transforming into this absolute tank of a human, which you may even mistake him as a Baki character. And with this power up, he then wipes out the threats with ease, and even the snake who tried to get a hold of him. After that, we unlock the secret ending where we have this one dude in the main character getting some wholesome action in there. And then afterwards, we then randomly get sent back to reality with this girl riding her bike and awkwardly making faces at the camera for 10 fucking minutes straight, or maybe not minutes, but seconds straight, just honestly making this whole entire thing feel like an eternity. And yeah, we then have the credits rolling, which was possibly one of the happiest moments of my life, knowing that I can move on with my life. But unfortunately, that does not mean I can move on from this video. And we have one final wholesome anime here, because honestly, I'm at my limit. Milky Gal Cat's Eye, with a juicy overall mean score of 4.60. Starting off with some more footage that is literally like 60p. How can you go lower than 144 here? And the footage was so damn glitchy. I damn near had a seizure watching this. But yeah, we start off in a school, like any other high school anime. And to kick things off, we start off with a Yuri scene. After the Yuri scene, we then have this brown hair girl thinking about this one guy while doing some very wholesome acts. The pacing here was a bit sluggish, and when I mean a bit, I mean a lot of bit. Because we were just stun locked with this girl doing the wholesome act for like an hour, it felt like. And then after that, we then cut to this blue hair girl thinking of a flashback, and it replays over and over and over. It's just this wholesome scene for literally 2 minutes straight. Not sure why they keep stretching it for this long. It's honestly making me want to smash a hole through, oh, voice crack. But it's honestly making me want to smash a hole through my monitor. So anyways, after that, we then have this orange haired girl or chestnut haired girl. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. Okay, this is in one, or not even one, almost at 144p. That would have been a compliment. It's in fucking 55p recorded with a dazzle. But we have this girl thinking of something, which is some more flashbacks of some wholesome scenes for 2 more minutes straight. honestly, I don't know how much I could take. Whoever created this, I just need to shake your hand for making such a great piece of work, and the pacing is phenomenal. Thank you. But anyways, after that, we then enter a slice of life portion, and slice of life is personally one of my favorite anime genres, so this should be good. I'm looking forward to it. And we have this purple hair girl and this one dude talking to each other. How very nice. And then we have this one guy getting chased by some girls, like a celebrity. I don't even know what the I'm watching anymore. And he bumps into this orange haired girl and kills her. Oh, just kidding. And so following that, she gets back up, talks to this one guy, and runs off with him. Definitely a very realistic situation we just witnessed here. And then so after that, we then cut to the purple hair girl with this one dude in an apartment, and definitely nothing too crazy happens here. They just kiss and play some Mario Kart together, okay? I'm certain nothing too crazy happened in that apartment. And so after that, we then cut to the orange hair girl who's on this date with one other dude, and they go on a very romantic road trip to this very epic beach where they have a ton of fun and play games together. I'm definitely having the time of my life watching all this, and just to fuel this fever dream with characters that I absolutely do not know the names of, we have this purple hair girl and this dude running through the fields having a great time, and the animation is so abhorrent. We just have this girl on loop getting whiplashed, and then the screen just keeps glitching here. Like, why are you doing this to my eyes? And then after that, we then have the background going to space with these characters just having fun, and then to mix up the elements, we then have our characters going swimming in the ocean, just having a good time. What is going on here? And they just keep looping the same clips over and over and over. Why are you looping? Just show the scene once and move on. You don't have to stretch this for 30 minutes. And then we now have this couple kissing by the tree because the fun just does not stop. And speaking of things that don't stop, the screen just keeps glitching. Why? And yeah, to end it off, we then cut to this one girl looking back at the camera saying, that was a great time, right? Yeah, that was a fantastic time. Thanks for asking. And then after that, we then have these three schoolgirls going to school like any other student would do. And we just have the scene with all of them happy, winking at the screen. And if one time wasn't enough, they just loop the same shit again, trying to reach that 30-minute mark. And we have them winking at the screen once again. And with that said, that concludes this piece of work, as well as the video. Oh my, no wonder why I haven't done this in a while. Anyways, yeah, that concludes this video. Thank you for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. You know, I'm a YouTuber and I have to say all that. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if this video gets 8K likes, I really should set the bar to 10K. But 8K likes, and I'll make a continuation where I go over the lowest rated shenanigans on my anime list. And with that said, once again, appreciate you all sitting to the end. Happy New Year's, and I'm gonna go cry in the shower.